everyone, welcome to Weekend Gamers. My name's David, and today we're going to look at a continuation on a project that I was working on my other channel. I'll link you to the first video down below. Was continuing on building a hill terrain, and let's see how we got on. Right, so this lumpy mess is the second phase. That's pretty much all dried now. I've had it sitting here for a couple of days to dry out. As you can see, it's looking very rough, very choppy, but what I'm going to do now is take it outside and sand it down. But what I'd just like to point out, anybody who's going to look at possibly doing this kind of method, when it comes to this phase of sanding down, take it into at least a well-ventilated area or outdoors and use a breathing mask, as the powder that comes from this will be toxic. So please, avoid breathing any of that in. But I'm going to take this outside now, and I'll be back soon once that is done. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that quite well there. What I've done is after sanding that down, I've primed it black. You can see there's a couple of white spots here, which I'm going to have to go over again. But I've gone and done a few shades of dry brushing, just basically using some of the old Wilkinson's paint that I got from the foam board build. Now I did make a little bit of a schoolboy error. There was one or two parts just around the back where I over sanded it a little bit and exposed the foam. So when I primed it black, it did sort of melt it a little bit, but it's not too terrible. It's hardly noticeable just in here, so it actually seems to add a little bit to it. So yeah, not too bad. So I'm going to do one or two more shades of grey to lighten them up a little bit on the edges here, and then maybe do some earth shading down on the bottom and around on the other side. Okay, so now we've got the final product here. As you can see, there's a few different, added a few extra shades. Now, what I did for that there is I just had these two test pots of the Barely Black and of the Cozy Grey. Now, I based it using just solid that of the dark, and then for the intermediate, I'd mixed it a little bit, but sort of dry brushed it. So as you can see over here, just sort of mixed them together and added a sort of intermediate tone. And then for the lighter tones, I just used all of the light, sort of dry brushing it on in very, very fine sort of layers at a time. And similar sort of technique for the earth shading, just around on there and on the rear of it. So start off with just the dark, with a very dark brown, and again just followed by sort of an intermediate lighter coffee kind of, and then followed by a milky coffee. All dry brushed. Every single piece of this was dry brushed. And then for the front, for the pipe, just gone over it again with some lead belcher, and then followed by a little bit of the Riser Rust technical paint. As you can see there, probably just to, I don't know how that's going to turn out, probably still a bit blurred there. And then of course another special effects paint, Nurgle's Rot, just to sort of pull up on the bottom there. So yeah, quite happy with that, quite happy how that's turned out. So there we go, very straightforward and simple to do. I urge everyone to give it a try. It's very easy, very cheap to do, especially if you can find little bits of slate or sort of like bark, little softwood from playgrounds and stuff. And you can get the grout and the polyfill for a good reasonably cheap price. And also the paint pots that I used, the little test pots from Wilco, or the equivalent if you're in America. Over here they were only about £1 a pot, so very cheap, very easy to use. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any questions or any feedback, please leave a comment down below, and if you'd like to subscribe, that would be even better. Great. So until next time, this is David from Weekend Gamers saying happy gaming. We'll see you on the front line.